You know, I
Yeah.
really set out to be a songwriter. I always set out to be a songwriter from day one. And that was my first main thrust into the music business, is that, I don't know if you want to know the story, but
Yeah, sure.
in the US, they had the Brill Building. Now, you may remember what the Brill Building was. It was in New York, and it was where all the major songwriting teams would hang out, would have offices or little studios. Yeah?
Like Goffin and King, right? And
Correct. Goffin and King, Lieber and Stoller, Neil Diamond, Neil Sedaka. You know, virtually all the top songwriting teams had their own little studios in this one building. And it was overseen by a guy called Don Krischner. Don Krischner was a really big entrepreneur in the States. He'd found he'd actually put together the Archies, and he'd put together the Monkees, you know, in that big TV show, and they had huge success. So what he wanted to do, he wanted to bring the concept to the UK. So he set up a deal with ATV, who are a big TV film company. And the company was called ATV-Krischner. And they were going out looking for songwriting teams to replicate what was happening in New York in the Brill Building. And I was one of the first writers they signed, along with my co-writer, Lynsey de Paul, who also had a very good career in the music business. And, you know, we had to clock in at 9:30. We worked till 6 o'clock on songs. And then at the end of each week, we had to have a meeting with the A&R guys, the guys that were head of the company, and play them the songs we'd written. And it was kind of a weird way of working, but it gave you discipline, you know, and you need discipline when you're writing. And that's how I started out, and that's how we started writing the early hits effectively. We had 2 major hits out of that, but no one wanted the songs. No other act wanted to record our songs. So Lynsey had recorded a demo of a song of ours called Sugar Me. And there was a manager, she got involved with a manager called Gordon Mills, who was then going to manage Tom Jones and Engelbert Humperdinck. And he said, Lynsey, I like your voice. Why don't you just do it yourself? Put it out as a master. We'll put it out on our label called MAM. And so she did. And so it was a massive hit. It was million seller around the world. And that sort of sent her career off on a different path. And the same happened to me. It's very, very odd. I did a demo of one of our songs called Dancing on a Saturday Night. No one wanted to cut it. Someone said to me, well, you sing a good version of it. Why don't you go and finish it off? Because I know you like producing things as well. So I went to finish it off. I put on a bouzouki, which is a sort of an instrument which gives it a nice kind of holiday sound. And as they say, the rest is history. It was a huge record. It's you know, it's still played today.